Again available, Engineer Suraj Singh, as shown in certificate, professional engineer, international professional engineer, certified by Institution of Engineers India. Identity as fellow, Institution of Engineers India. Namaskar dear friends, again available in your service regarding issue of skill development, which is very important from every viewpoint. And I'll just give you some document before that for starting this so that it be clear to you what I'm talking about. This is a print preview of this page which I'm going to discuss with you, and I'll say something else like that also. And as usual, I'll give something as I say. These are some technical titles in all of this on this file, as well as all this shall be available on relevant URL indicated on text. Yet for information, you should not, because I cannot project them directly. This is construction project management guide for RC buildings and other buildings as well. In particular for RC buildings, this is title page, and hello, this is Singh. This is video for construction project management. Construction project management. Warehouse. Construction project management. An overview, not for engineers, it's for engineers and managers. Just forward. Project requirements. This is customers for modifications, the legal requirements for implementation, flaws, social needs fulfillment, project management concept, project management objectives, analysis to understand who are involved in civil engineering project management industries, this is part 4, project stages, quality, time, risk factors, risk impacts, procurement, communication continues, then project stages, continue, client and owner, charter formation, etc. Implementation stages, part 8, updates, work changes, payment certificates, communications to stakeholders, communication to client. Part 10. What areas of knowledge has been refreshed? Project requirements, project initiations, project charter, planning for all stages, execution and monitoring. So what is that? Let's say like that. That is simple of more. Thank you. So, dear friends, good morning. Namaskar again to you to talk to you directly now without video reference. And I think it's a different kind of subject, which is very difficult or easy, you can say. Project management is a skill development on that. What is project management is a question mark here. Everybody has different idea of project management. Some say PMP is a project management, some say the PMP is not project management actually. That is a just added advantage only for those who don't have engineering knowledge. We are all engineers, we are dealing with engineers, we are contractors or builders or we are promoters, we are architects, we are site foremen or we are site managers or we are site engineers or project managers. All those staff who are involved on projects are called project leaders or project supporters or project followers or project dealers, or you may say project personnel. In fact, overall term is project personnel from director level to guard level. All are project personnel. Project personnel title is construction projects management, construction projects management, and overview note for engineers. I worked upon this document in April 2011, you can say about 8 years back, when I was back from Saudi Arab and also from Doha, Qatar. Just had time to think on and write some comprehensive management document and not like project management PMP, which is a very voluminous document giving nothing to real professionals who actually aspire to get brief knowledge for explosive implementation. I mean to say, everybody cannot go to 500 pages to study project management. Who got such time in practical life to read such documents when people are usually tired while coming back from duty or from site? Everybody is tired while working about 60 hours, 50 hours, 40. I think everybody does 60 hours a week on sites. And that is really very difficult to think on about how to study these PMP, etc. In that case, I thought it essential to write a comprehensive brief document with comprehensive information and leading information so that people can go through. And this document is about, I think, this is around 31 pages, A4 size, having various titles like this. Hyperlinks of these titles are given on second page. If you go through second or third page, I think second page of this particular document, you can download both this presentation as well as Word copy or PDF from script.com, URL of which I have put on text of this video. I have given titles like this: project requirement reasons, a brief talk is that. Second one is project management concept and its necessity. Third one is project management. Fourth one is a brief analysis to understand how to integrate project plan with required knowledge areas. Then title is structure sequences of project management knowledge areas requirements. I just blocked it. I'm unable to read directly. Yes, it's okay now. So structural sequence of project management knowledge areas requirements risk response plan risk management plan. Then communication. Number 8 is initiation, project's initial charter constituents. Ninth is planning, development of project plan, major processes constituents within planning knowledge, area integration with development plan. Then is client or owner, meeting deadlines to release bid documents. Then it is bidder or tenderer, meeting deadlines to submit bid. Then 12 is execution or implementation processes. And then 13 is communication channels or processes, involvement by all relevant parties. Then 14th is monitoring and updates, continuous processes during project life cycle. Then lessons learned from mistakes and incorrect decisions. And completion or closing and administrative controls. These are major titles in relevance to which I have put this paper. Once again, I put for your information this title make you forget because as I speak fastly. Project requirement reasons, project management concept is necessity, project management, a brief talk, project management, a brief analysis to understand how to integrate project plans with required knowledge areas, structure sequences of project management knowledge areas requirements, risk response plan, risk management plan, communication, initiation, planning, then client or owner meeting deadlines to release bid documents, then bidder and tenderer meeting deadlines to submit bid, execution or implementation processes, communication channels or processes, involvement by all relevant parties, monitoring and updates, lessons learned, completion or closing and administrative control. A brief forward I have put in, just read that one. This paper talks of real project management only. Contents well known to you have been inserted in various parts. Project management applications are well known to all engineers, but presentation in an attempt, this presentation is an attempt to refresh reader by a brief deliberation proposition. At the end of presentation, one should feel comfortable about precise refreshing of most aspects of project management. Presentation shall be revised further in future. Brainstorming postings are welcome for further improvements. Well, I did not receive any postings for last 9 years. Anyway, I don't mind that because this is real project management. This actually what happens inside. It doesn't depend upon how PMP works because PMP is different one. What PMP, there's a difference in contemplation of PMP. I'm not criticizing PMP. I'm just giving what they think. PMP is done by those who are not basically engineers. They are non-engineering field graduates, and just like they go to MBA, they go to PMP also just to be managers in field. They don't care. They want what intentions behind them is they don't give any practical solution. If you ask them certain question about engineering field, how you solve, they'll simply say there is a site engineer, there is a project manager, or someone else who we will ask him discipline engineer, give us the solution, and we'll use that one. This is what they say. They said they have been very successful in this project. They have worked very well in this field. PMP managers, PMP engineers, they said they continue on sites and they rule the sites and they manage the sites on each and every aspect of practicality. But as far as technical issues are concerned, engineering issues are concerned, they cannot answer. They depend upon feedback by those who are employed as civil engineers or other engineers on site in capacity of project engineer or in capacity of whatever discipline engineers. This is their responsibility. They are not independent. They simply say we are managers and we manage projects. That is root of cause in this problem. Because this is not management project. Every project is an engineering project. This is engineering design, engineering consideration, engineering construction and engineering activities and all that. So how can some person who is not qualified engineer and he can manage project which is a technical one? Well, that is difference of opinion. You may agree or you may not agree. Somebody may agree, somebody may not agree. But because they need job, they say like this. Question is not you need job or you don't need job. Question is responsibility. If technical problem exists, engineering problem exists, who is going to respond that? If site man who's technical or engineer or who's discipline engineer or expert engineer, whoever engineer is there, if he has to take care of that, what function project manager has to dispose of is out of my understanding at least. If it comes to in your mind, I don't know. If it comes to those who are qualified as PMP, it's up to them what they answer. That's not an issue. Project management is not a new term. It is very old term. Project management means what? What is project first of all? Question arises. Any project can be there, small project to medium project to biggest project, major project, mega project. Question is, what is project management? There are many types of project management because there are many types of projects. There is one project which is called EPC, engineering, procurement and construction. EPIC also, engineering, procurement, implementation of construction. And there are projects like designs only. There are projects like designs and build. There are projects like construction only. There are projects like maintenance only. They are varying degrees, very classifications of projects, but we are dealing in a common way. I am experienced on buildings project, RCC buildings. I am just confining myself to that restriction that I have to talk about buildings. I am not very experienced on structural steel buildings. I have done work based on RCC buildings and structural engineering to some extent only, because I have worked in the field of RCC buildings, and commercial buildings, school buildings, other buildings, mega projects buildings, oil refinery buildings, and you can say onshore projects, and also some design work I've done, not to very great extent but minor extent. I've done some kind of minor planning also. I've done work on site. I've done work in offices as office engineer, as office manager, of engineering manager you may say, or site manager you may say, project manager you may say. These kinds of activities I have involved myself. I have worked from junior engineer level to project manager and director level in various companies, also in government of. I was in government in Delhi Authority from 1975 to 1981 in very low position. Then I left to Iraq in 1981, and also I worked in government of India in joint venture in in Libya, which was electrical company Shirkin Shah Karwai. That was joint venture of government of India, and I worked there for 2 years. And otherwise, I worked everywhere as a corporate engineer, or you can say as management engineer, or site engineer, or project engineer, or project manager, like that. That is my experience, which exclusively I'm telling. This is my experience. I should be clear about you can expect me what I know and how much I am supposed to tell you. That is what I say. Project management means manage a project from initiation stage to delivery stage. It can be whatever kind of project. It can be, you say, when you think something about site, somebody says, this is money, this is my budget, I want you deliver to me this project in such size. For example, so I'm an engineer, for example, or I am an architect. Some client comes to me, some customer comes to me, or some owner, I should say owner, because every person who is in the land is owner. That owner wants me to deliver to him a project of house. It's very, let us say, smallest consideration. I say, okay, I ask him his requirements and what site plan says, what regulations says, what bylaws says. I have to consider all this as an architect or as an engineer, whatever I am. Then I have to advise him. After this discussions about my project management contract, etc., leave that aside. I ask him, this is the one proposition, this is second proposition, you select out of that what you want. He says, okay, I want this, or means it has been decided what type of plan is approved. Now question is, I have to prepare design of that after consideration of budget. This means I have this much budget, or he has to take further loans if more money is required, or if he has adequate amount, no problem at all. We can start planning, we can start developing that map or that plan or that detail and submit to the government, or if required for getting building permit, and we get it. Let us say we reach all the stages, then we have to do that job. Question is, architectural design is there. Why I am saying is these are required. We had some initial design, that is zoning plan from any city or urban area where regulations apply. For example, you have to front setback is this much, side setback is this much, rear setback is this much, this basement is required or not required, allowed or not allowed, where is road, where is north, where is south, where is east, where is west, and how many floors are applicable, permissible, and what is floor area ratio applicable. All these considerations we have made while designing and planning, and suppose is there, building permits there, and the time limit of building permit, you have to complete this house in so many years and obtain occupancy certificate after completing that. So people generally call that completion certificate. I call it occupancy because term on certificate is occupancy certificate. This occupancy certificate is very important at time of delivery of project, and before that conveyance deed is very important while taking over plot. These two deeds are very important. Communication deeds gives you ownership, while occupancy certificate allows you to stay formally in that house from residence point of view, safety point of view, health point of view. That is what is required, and in these stages everything goes, everything works. First of all, my duty becomes to quantify everything, what is there, how much material is required, work out a big document or tender document, you can see, which I can give it to contractor, including the drawings, designs, architectural drawings, structural drawings, services drawings, all drawings, working drawings, whatever possibly I can do, or that owner can do, or other discipline just can do, bigger one also. Having taken into those into consideration, having taken those drawings, along with specifications, along with other requirements, along with my bid copy of the documents, that contractor to whom we invite for submitting his bids means offer, that person takes into consideration each of the documents and says either by labor rate or by total rate or by item rate or by lump sum package, gives an offer that I will do this for you, and we take 2 or 3 or 4 such bids. Generally, labor rate is being done in small projects, while major projects require complete engineering packages and material, labor and everything, guarantee and maintenance, etc. are included, particularly in government projects as well as in major private projects. So depending upon what type of project or bid is that, it's duty of engineer as well as architect, if architect is involved, to carry out work on each and every activity as such. So architect is involved for purpose of architectural design, for purpose of many other activities, building permit and this and that. Engineer is also required for purpose of sponsoring structural design. So architect is required there, structural engineer is required there, civil engineer is required there. 3 engineers are must. In addition to it, service engineer is required there. For example, so lift mechanical engineer required, lift is there. For electrical conduits, electrical first fix and second electrician is required, electrical engineer is required, or supervisor is required. And for plumbing and mechanical services, plumber is required, plumbing engineer is required. All those people are required on that project. And nowadays even IT people are required on such projects. So you can say a team of people is required, professional people, personal engineering personnel are required, in addition to design engineer or structural engineer, as said. So first of all, first duty becomes that you being an engineer of that job, personal project leader of that, you have to go, you have to get collected with them, you have to assemble one place before submitting designs, before commencement of job, and coordinate each and every discipline at one point and bring that all people works to site in one coordinated way. There should be no lapse in coordination, and when that coordination activities move, there must be valuable, reliable and workable communication. Time is there. Owner says I have to complete this project in this much time, and that duration of time is already in tender documents or in bid documents, which shall be converted later on contract documents. So time is fixed, budget is fixed, quantification has been done for all activities, quantities cannot be changed, which depends on all drawings, all specifications, all measurements as listed out on bill of quantities, which is a supporting document in lump sum contracts. If it is lump sum contract, and that is a supporting document where other contracts, but where is item rate contract is there is no major value of quantity, but rate of item is important, the specification of item is important, and 5% to 10% variation on those quantities could be acceptable depending upon which organization is carrying out that project, or it's a private sector organization or something else like that. If it is on a labor rate contract, quantity responsibility goes to owner, only labor element goes to contractor. There are different kind of classifications of contractors which we'll talk on later on. Now we are talking about project management, where we have to initiate and start. That is important. There are many kinds of projects all over the world. Big projects are there where many staff are required, hundreds of staff are required, personnel are required, engineers are required, workers are required. They are mega projects. But we are talking of a normal project because we are working on building skills and development of skills, enhancement of skills, which cannot be taken to widespread and just we are talking a small building, which is very important from every point of view. Project management term means, actually we call it project management. In fact, it is not project management, it is project engineering. Project engineering, because engineer term includes management. People don't understand this, and engineers too do not understand it. When we say engineer, engineer means, first of all, what is engineer we have to understand. This term is not English term. This term came from some other country, maybe Latin or from somewhere else. In Jain, what does it mean? You may say the person, you will just give a definition. I'm not asking for a definition. I'm just considering article meaning of engineer. It is en Jain, means a person who is genius is called engineer. This means engineer must be intelligent, must be brilliant, must be proactive, must be picker, he can pick up everything, and must be imaginatively powerful. So this person cannot be called manager, because manager cannot think much. Manager has to manage whatever is available, whatever information is available, whatever feedback is available, whatever input is available. That person is supposed to manage and govern. I'm not talking of management. What I say, an engineer means a person who includes management. So engineering is above management. That is why I am stressing to name this not project management but project engineering. Otherwise, in circulation it is project management, so we keep it as project management or project engineering. Doesn't make a difference to an extent term is concerned. Let us consider project management alone from article viewpoint. Otherwise, it is project engineering, and project engineering means from conception, from initiation, from, you can say, you can call it a green project, not a brown project. In that way, you know what is brown project and what is green project. Maybe you know that. If you don't know, I'm just explaining. A green project means a project from scrap, from original land. Nothing is available. If forest is there, you have to construct from that forest, from that garbage area, to a finished building and deliver that. That is called green project. There may be brown also. Some project is existing there. You have to improve that, bring it to its health back. A kind of that kind of modification environment is called brown projects. So this is only difference, nothing else. But on buildings, we generally don't apply these terms. These terms are applied on major mega onshore projects. There may be offshore something else, onshore projects. So my project management definition is different one. It is based on my experience. I'm not saying you accept this or don't accept this. It depends upon you. Means engineer is a different person. Engineer has many minds. He has to think every way. He doesn't go on article meaning. The engineer doesn't go on these writings. He thinks how to deliver. His job is not writing alone. Writing is a support. Thinking is a support. Design is a support. His job is working and delivering. He has to deliver project. It may be you may like something. He delivers other thing. But both function. Both must be successful. Engineering doesn't mean stick to one thing. There can be changes. There can be modifications. There can be amendments to every part of project. Because money is involved, time is involved, durability is involved, safety is involved, and quality is involved. Everything is involved in a project. We construct from soil, from aggregate, from sand, from dust, from bricks, from steel, from concrete, from every raw material, from every natural material, something to a useful combination of material. That is the difference. For example, in concrete, we are using dust, we are using aggregates of 2 or 3 types, and we are using cement, we are using water, and we are using mixing of that, machine, etc. And then we are using curing after setting of that. Is that material which comes in form of hardened concrete, we call it hardened concrete when concrete sets. It's called, when it gets strength, it's called hard. So that hardened concrete is a material, as well as that dust is also a material. Raw aggregate is material, water is material, nail is material, shuttering is material, everything is material. Means there is small material and there is a package of materials, both are materials. That is important. So let us move further to further understand what we are talking about. Now, what I said in this project requirement, part 1 is project requirement reasons. A brief topic is evolution of society and development. Movement of time obviously results in regular development of all economies. Such developments certainly require fulfill demands of facilities of infrastructure in economies so that new products or processes may be generated. This is that, right? Movement of time obviously, it's called evolution of society and development. Means it's very basic. I'm talking how society evaluated evolve means starting from nothing, starting with zero, started evaluating and developing. It's like that. Movement of time obviously results in regular development of all economies means nation. Movement of time obviously results in regular development of all economies. Such developments certainly require fulfillment or fulfill demands of facilities of infrastructure in economies so that new products or processes may be generated. Evolution. Evolution creates projects from all disciplines, and projects would be interdisciplinary allied ones. Technological upgradation technological upgradation and newer means new technologies generate requirement of projects or services and lead to operations. Then it is marketing demand for all operating unit organizations. Organizations do require maintain their status and promote their commerce. That would certainly impose on organization to explore possibilities how to contain their market by further adding various schemes of new products or supporting products. Very self-explanatory. You can understand. Means every organization keep on researching what market they should do, where they are successful, where they are not successful. If they are not successful, they have to add some material into that, or they have to remove some obsolete material depending on the research and development activities and what market requires and what they have to supply, and so that their economics keep on moving and the company keeps on moving and they make their market up. The market requires them and they require market. Both ways it happens as part of economy. If a company don't do that way, means that material is obsolete and nobody will buy that one, and the company will do some that, this and that. Okay. Business need of commercial houses. Maintaining and promoting existing business requires various types of strategies, and management has to bring in certain additional projects to maintain status even at cost of additional profit for a considerable length of time. Cost of no additional profit, I'm sorry. Once again write this because maintain and promote. I just blow it up little. I'm not able to read correctly because I cannot remember everything. I cannot cram all this. Cramming is not my habit. So let us just blow it up. Yeah. Marketing demand for all operating unit organizations do require maintain their status and promote their commerce. That would certainly impose on organization to explore possibilities how to contain their markets by further adding various schemes of new products or for supporting products. Business need of commercial houses. Again, maintaining and promoting existing business requires various types of strategies, and management has to bring in certain additional projects to maintain a status even at cost of no additional profit for a considerable length of time or duration of time. Customers request for modifications. Customers request for modifications. These are very basic requirements in market economy and for sustainable development. Sustainable development doesn't mean for country's sustainable development, it means for companies as well and for market as well, for areas as well. Customer is an ultimate client for whatever organization. Customer satisfaction is an utmost important goal which any organization has to achieve, which whatever organization must achieve. Customer requirements or new demands are required. Customer requirement and new demands are made to be met in a given length of time. Customer has to be provided additional value for product or service being provided at same price or in a competitive environment at curtailed price. Such requirement has to force provided for additional standards or schemes that result in delivering incentive products in addition to original product, or to provide improved products. New projects are required to be thought of to keep hold on customers. Means customers should be with you, just like TV channel says don't leave, we are coming back. It is same thing, company should not leave customers. To keep customers updated, to stay with this company, you have to do something additionally so that you don't lose that customer. This is what I mean. Technological advances in globe. Well known well known to all that technology in all discipline keep on changing with a fast pace that forces industrial business groups to maintain update on technologies so that existing products are adopted to newer uses that definitely result in better quality product with lesser cost, particularly in electronic world. Technologies change very fast that demand for revision on all products, resulting in generation of additional projects. Generations like 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, 6G, like that. Products are coming in, services are coming in revised form. In every field, in building construction also, in mechanical construction also, new parts are coming. This is what is the technology advance globe says. Then legal requirements for implementation of laws. Here we have to consider legal requirements for implementation of laws. Notification of newer laws, for example, environment improvement laws, etc., would require improvement in on many product existing in market. International laws would also necessitate similar actions on industries. Various local laws shall force areas relevant to bodies for launching newer projects. Now let's go to social needs fulfillment, very small para. Society keeps on changing continuously as defined in social change, but in parallel, society keeps on adopting newer lifestyle that requires newer products that results in newer projects all over. Society shall never be constant in living and adopting standards, while projects shall be kept on requiring all in all economies. So this was part one, just brief means philosophical talk we have talked about this. Now we'll go to part two, which is project management concept and its necessity. Just to share about professional experience with engineers, I am pleased to initiate this series of actual project management requirements that need understanding and attention by general and specialist engineers. This is my forward to personal forward to engineers who view this or read this. Project management subject has been ignored by many of budding and as well as practicing engineers in light of misconception that it is a separate discipline. It's not a separate discipline. It's a basic discipline, original discipline. It's part of engineer's job. It's part of engineering. So you might now study engineering, but it's a part of engineering. You have to learn it to your field, and you will learn it on science or in science. Professional engineering. Professional engineering spectrum requires a good understanding about degree of attainability of engineering management in whatever branch of engineering. Attainability. You have to attain something. What degree of attainability means? What degree of maturity? What degree of pragmatism? What degree of confidence? What degree of independent leading? That is called professional engineering. Means you have to decide yourself, finance wise, quality wise, progress wise, design wise, all activities wise in engineering. That is called professional engineering. Means you are a material to produce a material. You are a person independent of others to do service, to deliver service to others. That is professional engineering. Means it must be done. Not that you have to learn, it must be done. And from that service is done, work done, delivery made, you have to learn lessons. Professional engineering means you are a person whose work is being used by someone. It's not simply literature, it's not simply degree. It is a service provided to society so that society uses your services, your results, your deliveries. Your deliveries are usable, optimally usable, cost-wise usable, time-wise usable, quality-wise, durable items, all that. Sub-disciplines of engineering designs projects are well required to be duly integrated with whole spectrum of project management. Again, I read sub-discipline of engineering designs. Engineering design is a sub-discipline. It's not whole engineering. Sub-discipline of engineering designs projects are well required to be duly integrated with whole spectrum of project management, decisions, and implementation processes, without which role of analysis and design engineering go futile to major extent. What does it mean is, if design is not involved in project management in totality, it is not integrated with project management activities, its decisions, its implementation process shall be difficult. Means once you cannot implement a design or design made decisions, it shall be useless. There shall be no meaning of that design which cannot be constructed or which cannot be implemented successfully. Means that design, wasted design, futile design shall come back to you for redesign to meet site requirement. That is what it means. Design and project management are in same floor, in same house, in same line or same page, you may say. Those who miss, those who do miss management principles and their interactions followed by implementations as well as monitoring find it almost difficult to sail smoothly in turbulent waves. Once again, it is very interesting. Those who do miss management principles and their interactions followed by implementations as well as monitoring find it almost difficult to sail smoothly in turbulent waves. Means there is no unison, there is no coordination, there is no interaction between two on these activities and management principles. They don't comply with, means you will not have a smooth journey on sea or on river. You are meeting some gate where there's turbulent waters there's no smooth flow, no laminar flow. You have to be in turbulent flow, and turbulent flow has no direction. It gives you impact. Laminar flow takes even your boat of paper travel like that. All right, so this is what I told you. Now further I read, and it is very important to read because reading is very important. This camera has come, I don't know why it has come. Nonsense, camera has come. Okay. All right. Many publications have been issued by various specialist institutions such as PMT based on general understanding about general management of projects. While these publications are not customized to real civil engineering projects as evidenced by excessive explanations and formatting designs of processes that makes subject entirely cumbersome, in understanding approach. I have seen many books of project management, PMP, when at time, thick volumes, 500 pages, just 300 pages like sketches and tables, which do not work on civil engineering projects, construction projects. Our projects are different, our philosophy is different, our methods are different, but working style is different. How can you read 500 pages, two or three books to pass? Means if you learn on site, it is better. There are so many specifications, there are so many directions when you design procedures are adopted, and that is a part of learning project management. I'm not discouraging you not to go to PMT, go to PMT. But don't think if you know PMT, you know project. It's not that. Because until you are aware, until you are conversant with design part, with planning part, you cannot do project management. Until you are conversant with execution part, with labor part, with technology part, with methodological parts, your codes part, you cannot do project management. You cannot sit there as a face only. You have to know technology. You have to deliver technology. You have to implement technology. Without implementation, you cannot do work. It's not a sale deal. It's not agency to take material and sell to other one. It's not that. It is construction engineering. You have to deliver after combining all materials in a desired fashion, in desired coded compliance. Only then you can deliver that. And this material is not for 6 months or 1 year. Building stands for hundreds of years. So you have to keep that in mind. It's not IAS job. It is not MBA job. It is not PMP job. It is job of a layman who is called an engineer. It's job of a layman who is called foreman. It's job of a layman who is called a designer. I am calling layman because in eyes of public they are laymen. Because public don't value them. But even if public don't value them, they are valued by self. They are valued by self. All right. It's important to know about all aspects of project management rather than trying to dip into voluminous books that allow no schedule out of busy schedule of every practicing and professional engineer. It is also true that various sequences about inputs as well as output on various processes and knowledge areas do not comply with real requirements and try to mislead engineers. Again, it's important para. Important to know about all aspects of project management rather than trying to dip into voluminous books that allow no schedule out of busy practicing engineer and professional engineer to understand that. It's also true that various sequences about inputs as well as outputs on various processes and knowledge areas do not comply with real requirements and try to mislead engineers. Long and long documents and long explanations, nothing to do with practical life, do not add to any engineering project. An attempt has been made to bring on few sheets of paper major requirements that would certainly be meant for any or all projects during all phases of project life cycle. Practical experience has been put on papers for budding engineers to learn about virtual management not available in a single chapter elsewhere. It has to be noted that value of management of projects depends on an individual knowledge, commitment and dedication for project, a spirit of management and a proficiency of leadership power attainment are required to operate all stages of any project from feed to closing out. Once again, I read for your information because maybe you don't have religion. An attempt has to be made. An attempt has been made to bring on few sheets of papers major requirements that would certainly be meant for any or all projects during all phases of project life cycle. Practical experience has been put on papers for those in us who are new one to learn about virtual management and available in a single chapter elsewhere it's not available. It has to be noted that value of management of projects depends on an individual capacity and knowledge, commitment and dedication for project, a spirit of management and a proficiency of leadership power attempt are required to operate at all stages from feed to closing out. Feed to closing out. I just use this term. Do you know what is this term? Feed to closing out. If you don't know, I'll just explain to you in brief. What is field? FEED. I will explain to you later on. Just for advanced information, front end engineering design. Front end engineering design. This is a term, not a term actually. This is a big documentation, big question, big contentions, and big contents and volumes are written regarding what they need from project. What type of project is required, what concept of design there is, what parameters shall be used, what code shall be used, what is philosophical requirement, what is function of this project, how this project shall perform, what are criteria, each and every criteria in all disciplines. That is called field. Before start a project and after project budget is allowed, permitted, approved, we have to start project. We have to write FEED. Front end means that end where it starts, not side end. I'm not talking about side end. That is front side end. But here I'm talking design front end. How to start is we have to write each and every criteria about each and every activity and each discipline. What we expect, what we intend to do with this design project, so that performance is done, delivered according to project requirement. That is called feed front end engineering design. And this is first term. We will start a project and it goes to delivery of project. That's called completion or close out of project. Just like I said, obtaining occupancy certificate. They are commissioning a project and maintaining, and then let project perform itself under maintenance people. That is called closing out. So these are two different terms we have used, and we shall talk of it later on if it's required. Okay. Now, part 3, project management. What is this? We have explained to you. Again, I'm telling you how to start a project design work after project is over, and how to lead it during all stages of project activities, and then deliver it to client for performance, for operation after commissioning, and let it work for whatever duration it has. 30 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years. 100 years, 200 years are used for residential buildings, other buildings, industries, maybe in other structures, while 30 years is generally used for oil projects. So let's come back to objective. Project delivery is called all deliverables. Means what we call delivery. Why I'm saying from delivery, deliver, it is delivery. Is it milk delivery or tea delivery or goods delivery? What is it? No, it's nothing else. When you hand over some project in a completed form, in abstract form, in summarized form, that we have done this, complied with your drawings, complied with your contract documents, complied with your specifications, complied with working standards, complied with good industrial practice, complied with international national standards. In each, every requirement has been made, testing has been made, all activities have been tested, performance have been made, and this is a functional project. Documents have been compiled with, package has been made, dossier has been made. For future references, all these packages, all these including projects are called deliverables. Means we are delivering to you. We are not keeping with us. It is delivered to you. You are independent. Your owner of this contract has come back. It has come out for that project. Of course, warranties and guarantees do apply. What do I understand? Now my question to myself is, and this is usually, what do I understand? What do I understand by profession of project management discipline? What do I understand? What do I understand by profession of project management discipline? Let me speak up. Still 5 pages running. Applications of earned knowledge. Listen. Applications of earned knowledge. What is earned knowledge? Knowledge that I earned by learning, by education, by training, by site experience, by other experiences, by interactive experience, having whatever I earned from those whom I talk to, not necessarily they're engineers, there are others too. Commercial people, business people, trade people, lower class people, higher class people, manager people, government client people, other people, and the public. Applications of earned knowledge enriched with advanced skills. Which one is earned knowledge, we got it. One is skill, we are modifying, we are improving our skills. Advanced skills we are taking, maybe those skills we never studied in our university, but by virtue of being an engineer on site or a supervisor on site, we gain more and more. Say, for example, chemicals knowledge we get material knowledge we get, and of machines knowledge we get, and other knowledges we get. From other countries, materials come. From other countries, drawings come. All that happen is in advanced skills. So applications of earned knowledge enriched with advanced skills, organization, environmental factors and processes, tools and techniques to deliver specific results or services to client or customer in line with project delivery, all deliverables, all disciplines, all deliverables, requirements through route of project management plan, execution and change controls using leading and organizing potentials, all integrated with scope, quality, time, cost, risk, human resources, procurement and communication plans, etc. Did you get it? Once again, I read for you, maybe better because this is a compound sentence. It's not simple sentence. And there are some parameters written on it, criteria written on which must be considered into while working on project. In each and every activity, on each and every discipline, on each and every branch of engineering and commerce and others and others and others. Whatsoever. Applications of earned knowledge enriched with advanced skills, organization, environmental factors and processes, tools and techniques to deliver specific results or services to client or customer in line with project delivery, all deliverables requirements through route of project management plan, execution and change controls using leading and organizing potentials, all integrated with. Now integrated with is different. Scope of project, quality of demanded quality, included quality, claimed quality. So one is scope, what work we have to do, quality, what quality is required, time, in what time we have to do it, cost, what is budget, etc. You will pay what will paid, risks, what risks are there, human resources, procurement, communication plans. So these are 8. 1, 2, scope 1, quality 2, time 3, cost 4, risk 5, human resources 6, procurement 7, communication. These are very important, significant factors I'm talking about. Scope, quality, time, cost, risks, scope, quality, time, cost, risks, human resources, procurement, communication plans. Out of this, quality, time, and cost. These are basic factors. You cannot waste time. You have to deliver in time. You cannot spend more cost because it is budget. If you spend more, you will lose. You will not get any profit. Quality, which is top one, without non-compliance, without quality or non-compliance of quality, you cannot deliver project. Scope is limited as described on contract or something like that, but it can be varied depending upon. So it is not absolute. Quality, time, and cost are absolute. Risks are not defined, but can be defined, can be understood, can be analyzed. And once you analyze risks, you can find solutions, preemptive solutions or post-emptive preferences for pre-happening solutions that can save your time, that can save your money, that can say that you are a good performer, you are a good contractor, you are a good engineer. Then human resources, which is very common, we know that. Procurement, that's also common. Procurement of material, procurement of human resources, procurement of equipments, and procurement of technology. Then communication plans. And communication is entirely different, but it's not basic, it's significant, it has more weight because without communications you cannot do anything. And power of communication must be augmented all the time. Even if you don't know anything, writing or speaking, you try to improve. Forget that you did not study engineering or you did not study in university. Study now. Study by verbatim, study by reading informations, study. Don't worry about grammar and don't worry about translation, is or I had or I have been or this. Just try to communicate. You will make many mistakes, but once you will reach to a target. Now, I'm saying brief analysis of, to understand how to integrate project plan with required knowledge areas. Knowledge areas, or I said is knowledge areas, those knowledge areas which I just explained to you about the scope. Scope, quality, time, cost, risk, human resources, procurement, organizations. These give birth to many knowledge areas. Hmm. Hmm. Yes, I don't think I shall complete this today because it will take more time and explanations, and no problem. It will take 2 or 3 videos, and no matter I have to explain it fully for those benefits, for those people who are butting on you. And I have to speak in English because this can't be spoken in the regional languages or Hindi. It's not easy and no function because this management has to go to entire world. So it is better to stick to English, and I will request all engineers to just to contain this in English. Not don't worry about other languages because it's a waste of time. So brief analysis to understand how to integrate project plan the required knowledge areas. Construction projects spectrum relevant to civil engineering specialty disciplines required in field. So let us say construction projects spectrum relevant to civil engineering specialty disciplines required in field. Project management is defined briefly as an exercise of doing total prospective processes. Project management. Project management is defined briefly as an exercise of doing total prospective processes applicable for years to deliver agreed objectives to end user, consumer, client, or owner of project. Simple definition. Once again, for your clear understanding, project management is defined briefly as an exercise of doing total prospective processes applicable for years to deliver agreed objectives to end user or consumer or client or owner of project. So simple. Project is defined as a temporary plan or scheme for a generally permanent existence of some or any specific objective for a certain and specific purpose or service. I repeat, project is defined as a temporary plan or scheme for generally permanent existence of some or any specific objective for a certain and specific purpose or service. Duration of project could vary between months to years and also to decades as well, depending on magnitude of project. So you can say time is say from years or months to years and many years sometimes bigger projects. But doesn't matter, means depends on project, what project it is, what quantities are there involved, and what is the magnitude size of that, and when it is required. That's all important. If it's required too late, so we can slow down projects. If urgently we have to augment resources and deliver project within defined time. Projects can belong to all classes of engineering specialties. Projects can belong to all classes of engineering specialties that may affect nation building as well as to meet international requirements. Project management is a broad term used to define project from inception to deliveries, stays and maintenance thereafter. After project is delivered, term changes to operation that could be a part of maintenance or consumer deliveries or to render regular public service. Project and product are different terms. Project and product are different terms applied to different status. Project as defined is a temporary execution while product is a regular manufacturing process requiring operational arrangements. Project and products are different terms applied to different status. Project as defined is a temporary execution while product is a regular manufacturing process requiring operational arrangements. Continuation or future of products depend upon competitive market, economy, and products sustainability by adopting further developments. But project is entirely independent of such factor, but to evolve fully supporting system for delivery of requirement so that it can be used as a permanent subject objective successfully to be used as production in infrastructure mechanism. There are certainly projects of all types in market or industries or organizations. In this discussion, intention is to talk about projects dealt with in civil engineering industries. Who are involved on civil engineering industries? Who are involved? Where to see that? Let us say clients or government or private owners or ministries or international organizations. Security related projects. Second one is that. First was different. Security related projects, local self government bodies, statutory companies, government companies, public private partnership, we call it PPP, non government organizations, NGOs, petrochemicals industries, heavy industries, then industries of all sorts, all types, real estates, housing of all sorts, commercial, institutional, contracting companies or entities, private promoters, private individuals. These are many categories and can be more also. What type of projects are managing? Yes, I think you're not feeling bored in this because the subject itself is boring, but very interestingly acceptable because in profession you cannot find entertainment. Professions are entertainment free. We are not working on films or on theaters. We are working here. This is required. Maybe I'm not. We are not earning more than film stars, but we are working more than film stars. We are working to build nation, to build world. They are just building 3 hours and going away. So what I do say, I just speak for sometimes for nothing, just to refresh my mind, and that is also very important from every point of view. Okay, what type of projects are manageable? Government as a client and awarding to contractor, government as a client and awarding to contractors, government as a promoter executing self through departments, organizations executing self either for promotion or to meet market demands or to make updates. Organizations working as contractors for all classes and all disciplines. Studies required for a project are entirely different. Evaluation of whatever project starts with economy, requirement, and understanding of viability in future. Feasibility study tells whether or not proposal can be adopted depending on location, availability, or meeting development demands. Feasibility study takes its own time, and after successful completion of studies and consequential declaration of project or scheme, demand, suggestions, budget has to be arranged by client or whosoever would be owner of project. Once again, feasibility studies take some time, and after successful completion of feasibility study and consequential declaration of project or scheme, demand suggestion, budget has to be arranged for by client or whosoever should be or would be owner of project. Funding is required based on this study as budgetary funding so that further follow-up process in gross scale can be commenced with without provisions of budgetary data, and certainly project cannot move further. Now coming field here again, front end engineering design, documents publications defending documents publication defining thorough requirements of project designs, technicalities involved at and required specifications from designer as well as from contractors. This stage is too technical, very technical, and requires personnel with specialty potential, hundreds of decisions required to be made as policy of project. Designing of project with schematic details for development documents followed up by further bid documents. This stage is subsidiary to feed that requires in-depth technical detailing for purposes of top liner execution on front. Hundreds of decisions are required as implementation and to cost-effective scopes. Project deliveries can be made based on thorough studies, decision making, implementation, monitoring, corrections, updating, reviews, provisions of additional budgets, absorbing or mitigating possible risks involved with whole procedures or project stages. Project deliveries can be made based on thorough studies, decisions making, implementation, monitoring, corrections, updating, reviews, provisions of additional budgets, absorbing or mitigating possible risks involved with whole procedure or project stage, etc. According to management structures, According to management structures, specific terms are used to draw support to manage projects successfully in a professional way, though these are not least but exclusively refers to as guiding principles for any professional interest to understand what management is all about on any small or considerable size project. According to management structures, specific terms are used to draw supports to manage projects successfully in a professional way, though they are not the least but exclusively refers to as a guideline principles for any professional interested in and understand what management is all about only in small or considerable size projects. Project management includes applications of understood knowledge. Project management includes applications of understood knowledge, areas found on certain technical processes in tools and techniques, forms of for planned successful execution of all projects activities as defined below. Certain knowledge areas within management structures are to followed. Now the next chapter is project. Part 3 is project stage include. Now we are talking about project stages. It's a little bit getting more and more complicated one. Till now it was definitions. Now it is again. This camera is opening again, disturbing me. I think I clicked on it. Yes. Okay. This chashma will not allow me to work. Yes. Okay. So let's move further in this declaration. Yes. Project stages include initiation. First is initiation, followed by planning, followed by execution or implementation, followed by monitoring and updates, completion or closing out, followed by maintenance and operation. This is a brief sequence. The sequence is simple: initiation, planning, execution or implementation, monitoring and updates, completion or closing out, followed by maintenance and operation. There are some hyperlinks which you can go to find and see. It's not here. I'll have to go to hyperlinks. Structure sequences of project management knowledge areas requirement. Structure sequence we're talking about is very important from this deliberation point of view, which is now actually detailed study we are doing with this. Is a structural sequences. Scope charter. Now, scope charter. What is charter? Decision making stage about any project charter authorization. What is scope charter? When we start something, some project, we have to make a paper. It's not simply we just open on site and do it. No, it's not like that. When we have money, we have budget, we cannot blindly move. That money is significant, that fund is significant, cannot be wasted like anything. It's my money, it's country's money, it's organizational money, it's society money, whose money it is, who the client, doesn't matter. Question is that money must be preserved. We have to see what we can build out of that. We have budgetary estimates, we have feasible studies, we have management studies, we have more information coming in. We keep that, we keep a charter about what works have to be done. That's called a scope charter. How this should be done, that's what is required. So there are many points in this that needs coverage. And that points I'm going to talk about decision making stage about any project charter authorization. Let's see what is front end engineering design is. Front end engineering design. Right? Description of deliverable contract requirements. Goodness knows it. Why this I'm talking about charter? This charter is. Charter document must contain these requirements, these definitions, these subtitles. Front end engineering design we already have. That is a part of charter. Description of deliverables. What are items we will get as a project part on deliveries? We have to write in that charter. At very initial stages, we should know what we are going to achieve that. It's like a long-term plan, you may say. Long-term plan in the sense that it contain years and it may contain 10 years, sometimes long before 5 years. Now maybe only 2 years, 3 years, 3 years, whatever it is. But that must be inscripted formally in a document that is covered, entitled as charter, project charter or scope charter. Contract requirements. What are contract requirements? Contract sufficiency. Is this contract sufficient or partly sufficient, or it is inadequate, or it requires revision? That is required there. Specifications. Whatever specifications we are going to apply in the project, that must be included in form of title and totality depending upon what you have. It may be project specification, it may be general specification, it can be specifications on items delivered by manufacturers, specialist items like that. Everything must be there. There are specifications which are standard one, that must be there. Standard means is only inclusion of those because standard means references given, but those project specifications which are exclusively different and implementable only on that project, limited to this project only, that is called project specification. General specification is not that much, because that is general and available everywhere. Specialist applications are required and project specifications are required. Duration. What length of project from physical start to end over or to completion, you can say. Delivery date of closure, that is called project duration. Contract duration, that must be there. There's a difference. Contract duration, because project we are starting from initiation stage, from front end engineering design, before that feasibility, but contract duration then will be. So if it is contract charter, we can write both the problem. Then charter. Risks involved. What are risks involved must be there. Stakeholders. Who are stakeholders? Who are shareholders? Who are sponsor? Who are financer? Who are contractor? Or who would be contractor? Possible contractors. Who would be client? What about clients? Client doesn't know. There may be many clients more. Directly or indirectly means consumer. Who will use this ultimately? That's called consumer or end user. Organizations, partners. There may be some owning organization which aligns with some organizations. And subcontractors, possible subcontractors, we don't know. Possible investments, from where investments will come, banks or some other person or foreign countries or whoever. Then possible returns. What expectations are there by the use of this project, by delivery of this project? Then possible reputation enhancement. Possible reputation enhancement. What reputation shall your company have after delivery of this project? Shall we be upgraded? Shall we be more recognized, or shall we enter in some other field also? Because this is also another thing. Project you have done is reputation, is CV of company, a pre-qualification of company. Then prestigious or ordinary projects. The classes of projects are there. Suppose it's a very big project, mega project, for example, metro train class one time now. So that airport is this for Dubai airport or Doha airport. This is a prestigious big projects. Oil refinery or underground exploration means, or it is not, it is a plot or a building or small or township. Means these are classifications which you have to write in that for purpose of references only. Other projects in hands, whatever you have, that can also be part of charters for reference. Capacity organization. Capacity of organization, expansion of organization, maybe project discarded currently, project manager, and all other depending on type of considerable project resources, allocations, charter, authorization, etc. Means whatever we have written in this book or in this reference documents are known as scope charter or project charter, it must be formally authorized, formally approved by board of company, by whoever this is, body is, that must be formally authorized for publication and record purposes. That is what charter is all about. Now we are going to discuss about quality. This is another part. Scope was one part in that eight knowledge areas. So we are now discussing knowledge areas. I have discussed scope, charter, project charter, scope charter or project charter that we have discussed. Now we are going to do quality standards to be achieved on deliveries. Because these are very important. Quality is very significant part. Without quality, delivery is useless. Just keep in mind. So, total quality assurance or management, you know TQM and TQA, you know all that. Total quality assurance or management, quality requirements. I'm feeling hot to put a fan on first of all. It's really hot. So, total quality assurance or management, quality requirements or quality plans, quality procedures, performance quality, quality or value of financing, quality of procedures, quality of competitiveness, quality returns, on investment, standards of quality, quality implementations, degree of achievable quality on project optimum quality for optimum profits, quality possibility for all sections relevant to project value to be achieved after project is delivered, quality meeting or exceeding customer or end user expectations, value to be provided by project deliverables to client or owner. Maybe sound is impacting this. Sound is coming disturbing this. Anyway, I read it again. Total quality assurance or management, quality requirements or quality plans, quality procedures, performance quality, quality or value of financing, quality of procedures, quality of competitiveness, quality returns on investment, standards of quality, quality implementations, degrees of achievable quality on project, optimum quality for optimum profits, quality possibilities, quality possibility for all sections relevant to project, value to be achieved after project is delivered, quality meeting or exceeding customer or end user expectations, value to be provided by project deliverables to client or to owner. This is quality standards. We have to achieve all these. Then about time, I told you time, cost, and quality are very important. So we are not talking about time, scope we have talked, and quality we have talked. Now we are talking time, significant factor governing project stages. Significantly, most valuable factor that may govern acceptance of project is time that may not be allowed in excess of agreed, keeping in view competition as well as additional cost that additional time may require. Time not allowed to vary, time allowed to squeeze for valid reasons, time schedule acceptability, effect of time, schedule by force measure, effect of contracts, by standard provisions such as FIDIC or non-FIDIC agreements, effect on long lead items, effect on important items, vice versa effect by such items on project schedule, time recoveries, methods, critical activities, stages, crashing time, schedule, fast tracking. So this is about time. Time is significant. You cannot delay it. Finish. You have to do it. Time is time. Not even a single is allowed to be disturbed or achieved. Your project has to come. Has to start commissioning. It means in that period, performance project must perform. Otherwise, you lose because as a contractor you lose, as a client you lose. As a client you lose in the sense your factory doesn't start, your building doesn't start, you lose money, you lose earning. As a contractor you suffer because if you delay it, you have to pay liquidated damages if that's acceptable. And a maximum of 10% to 15% are acceptable. Let us say 10%. If you lose 10% as a contractor, what shall you achieve? Just think of. And your honor loses delivering his international contract. For example, oil he has to deliver, LPG gas he has to deliver, this client has to deliver, so many other activities, or he has to sell these houses, sell this township, he is unable to sell. So this involves everything. Time is very important. And there may be long lead items, you can say. Do you know it's long lead item actually? Do you know or not? I think you don't know, maybe you know. It's up to you. But when I say, once again, there's also some point of consideration as effect of time schedule force major and effect of contracts by standard provisions of FIDIC, and there are so many others, time allowed to squeeze or not to squeeze. These are some considerations here, which I'm just briefing it. First of all, you can say force major. Do you know what force major is? In contract, there is a condition called force major. Means suppose there is a war, so there is something which never happened in past years. For example, we say, let us say that we had to stop project due to some reason. Whatever reason, it does not define in contract, but it has to stop under compulsion. That's a part of force majeure. You cannot waste time of contractor like that. That's all. Something forced us to stop that, and that is considered a major item. For example, the break of war, the civil war. There's something which they never expected. That's called force majeure. Revolution, whatever it will happen where you have to stop contract, that's called force majeure. That period is not counted as a part of performance or execution. That time has to be taken out. Similarly, it's not force majeure, and then just for nothing you want extension of time, you cannot extend. For example, if someone says, oh, for 1 week there was rain and there was thunderstorm and we had to stop for, please give extension. No, this is not permissible. You may say there was thunderstorm for 3 days, 4 days. It's not allowed because you must have known climate of that area. You are experienced contractor. You must know about that. You cannot say today rain, just give me 1 day. No, cannot be given like that. 50 years past must be known what weather is, what climate is, what faces. You are experienced contractor. You should know what happens in the area. So you cannot claim on those. No, you cannot claim on those. Just keep in mind. This one point is a FIDIC. FIDIC is there now. FIDIC is a standard contract document. It's not mandatory, but you can get benefit of that. Whatever is included in FIDIC is based on experience, in bit of international and national experience. That document can be used for purpose of extension, for purpose of force majeure, for purpose of so many other stoppages. Long lead items. What is long lead items? Say project is for 1 year, project duration, and let us say there are some pipes or some other items, whatever item that takes manufacturing for 1.5 years. So how can you order that one which is delivered to you in 1.5 years post placing order, while your project is for one year only, and you have to start project? What happens in that case? To save wastage of time, client places an order to that company which produces that one, and that order is placed too earlier before award of the contract. And that contract signed between client and that vendor of a long lead item, this is then transferred to contractor by use of term novation. That contract is novated to per project contract, and that items of long lead goes to contractor now on same pattern, on same conditions. Contractor has to comply with that. This is what is this. Then you have to say we have to use fast tracking of projects. Yes, it's good, do fast tracking, who says, but you have to control also. So effect on importable items, vice versa, effect by such items on project schedule time, recovery methods, critical activities, stage crashing at times. I have explained most of them. So let's go to cost affecting all parties involved on projects. Simple happens like this. What to do? Talking and talking and talking every day, 3 hours, preparing for 3, 4 hours, 5 hours, all this day. cost affecting all parties involved on project. Cost on proposed Cost on proposed project maintainable, cost for project maintainable, variations, provisional cost, equipment cost, construction cost, resources, cost prime cost, cost in long run, annual expenditure, budget provisions, loss of cost or profits should project be shelved. See how many points are there? Cost on proposed project. First cost. Maintainable cost. You maintain that for project maintainable variations. Provisional cost, equipment cost, construction cost, resources cost, prime cost, cost in long run, annual expenditure, budget provisions, loss of cost or project profits should project be shared. These are cost considerations, which are very important. For example, at last I said, should project be stopped? Now, suppose you award a project, you start a project, but due to unforeseen reasons, so whatever reasons they arise, may force major or something like that, or some other reason which are never anticipated, you have to shelve that project. There is a loss to both, loss to client as well as loss to contracting party, and that loss must be compensated this way or that way. That is what covered here. If project is shelved, and if that means all other costs are impacted upon. You started project, you started maintaining that, you spent on that, you fix provisional cost for some party, you fix some equipment cost and construction cost, resources cost, prime cost, and all those are finished once project is shelved. So everybody is claimable, every item is claimable. Just keep in mind, so cost is very important factor here. I cannot go in detailed studies of this at this moment, so I'm just telling you about the project management skill development. Now risk factors affecting all above. So though cost, time and quality have been discussed, scope was discussed, now is risk factors affecting all above. Risk. One is risk factor, other one is risk impacts due to change in scope. So what is risk factors? Scope, scope, quality, time and cost do affect project by impact of certain risks. All such risks should be anticipated in advance for reaching and applying preventive actions or solutions. In case preventive actionable solutions are not available, 100% risk responsive methods or plans should be produced after having understood details detailed posed by indicated or considered critical risks. Certain risks may be considered as indicated below. So it is risk factors. Means once again I did scope, quality, time, and cost do affect project by impact of certain risks. All such risks should be anticipated in advance for reaching and applying preventive actions or solutions. In case preventive actions or solutions are not available, 100% risk responsive methods or plans should be produced after having understood details posed by indicative or considered critical risk. Certain items may be considered as indicated below. Now, risk impact due to change, let us say under this risk, this one is risk impact due to change in scope, other is risk impacts due to changes in quality standards, and there is risk impacts due to changes in schedule time, there is risk impact due to change in cost, the risk impacts due to partly unknown scope. So these are, I think, five considerations here. There are five considerations. So risk impacts to change in schedule time. All right. So let's now talk about risk impacts due to change in scope. One by one, we discussed it in a professional way, in a delegation way, so that we know where we should be careful of. Though, like, I think someone has no problem. We continue this. Risk impacts due to change in scope. Additional or deletion. Addition or deletion exceeding agreed percentage levels. Addition or deletion exceeding agreed percentage levels certainly impacts risks on projects. When project charter has not been prepared based on complete understanding of project implications that are generally defined within body of project contract, clauses and project specification documents, and when deliverables have not been correctly listed, project is generally impacted when it belongs to lump sum contract category. It adversely affects budget cost, contract time, and performance quality. Just impacts these are. Once again, I read because this is a question, but this maybe you forget, I don't know. Additional or deletion exceeding agreed percentages. When suppose there's an agreed percentage is 5%, you can vary it to 2%, you vary it. And when you put additional items of deletion from that, which vary or which encroach upon those percents applicable, it impacts. Cost impact is there. When project charter has not been prepared with sound basis, we have prepared charter without giving these considerations, without understanding all these impacts, this impacts happens. When project charter has not been prepared based on complete understanding of project implications that are generally defined within body of project contract, clauses and project specification documents, and when deliverables have not been correctly listed, project is generally impacted when it belongs to lump sum contract category. Yes, lump sum is very dangerous, means you cannot change that price for years, if it is for years, and that variation, that you can say economic impact, or that you can say devaluation of money, or whatever is there, has to be borne with, has to be contained. It is required to be contained. Risk impacts due to changes in quality standards. Let us say quality on works, if enhanced or produced substandard, impacts considerable risks. Substandard quality results in reworks. Reworks, remember, reworks. Reworks means break work, original work which you did wrong, where you do substandard quality and do it again. So one cost is gone that you did before, and you have to do it again. There's another cost, and then time, and then reputation, all are affected. You have to risk that one. Substandard quality results in rework, while superb quality then agreed results in both time loss as well as cost loss. We talked of bad quality, but we talked of good quality. Now, super quality, you have to spend more and you have to spend more time on that. Be clear about that. So there's a cost loss on both time loss as well as material loss or quality. You can say superior quality delivery. So it is good for one point of view that you are giving value-added service, but that it cannot be generalized. That can be to some extent. It's okay. All right. Moreover, quality requirements must have been explicitly understood at scope formation phase and must be clearly documented within charter, as we discussed before. Applicable codes, standards, and market practices must be correctly documented for consideration and guidance procurement based on substandard quality shall not serve any purpose whatever but jeopardize project's performance and after being rejected and contribute to requirement of additional time or additional expenditure or cost and time overruns. Detailed quality management plan is a requirement on every project. So you have seen this risk means changes in quality standards means it's very risky. Risk impacts due to changes in schedule time. Now we are talking of time. Lost time. Lost time impacts. Project budget by cost of additional resources, mobilization in terms of human workforce, as well as machines or equipment recoveries to delayed schedules are sometimes impossible. But it says lost time impacts project budget by cost of additional resources, mobilization in terms of human workforce, as well as machines or equipment Recoveries to be delayed, schedules are sometimes impossible, that marks extension of time, certainly under compelling circumstances. Delayed decision on engineering grounds, procurement grounds, or non availability of required skills do result in delayed execution of relevant activities. Once again, it's a little complicated. I need answer for a clarification. Lost time impacts project budget. Time is lost, it's saying that one. Lost time impacts project budget by cost of in additional resources that you have to mobilize in terms of human workforce as well as machines or equipment. Recoveries to delayed schedules are sometimes impossible, that makes extensions of time certain under compelling circumstances. Delayed decisions on engineering grounds, procurement grounds, or non-availability of required skills do result in delayed execution of relevant activities. In case scheduled time is lost due to any reason, balance of works shall have to be executed in defined schedule time by either mobile additional resources to many sequential activities, or schedule may be crashed. In case this recovery method is not feasible, the scheduled time shall overrun and add cost to project budget in the form of budgetary budgetary can say this recovery method is not feasible. Scheduled time shall overrun and add cost to the project budget in the form of liquidated damages as well as further extra expenses on budget provisions due to additional resources. Once again, I says, let us say once again so that we clarify. As I said, in case scheduled time is lost due to any reason, balance of works shall have to be executed in defined schedule time by either mobilization of additional resources or by working overtimes and on holidays. Fast tracking method is required. Fast tracking method may be required to many sequential activities, or schedule may be crashed. In case in case this recovery method is not feasible, schedule time shall overrun and add cost to project budget in 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 form of liquidated damages as well as further extra experience extra expenses on budget provisions due to additional resources. Then let's go to risk impacts due to change in cost. This is also very important. Risk impacts due to change in cost. Cost changes due to any reasons would certainly add to project budget. Cost generally, addition of escalated costs in remote cases. There could be savings by a change request, time change adds to cost. Material delays adds to cost. Quality impact adds to cost. Scope addition in case against rates adds to cost. Some cases import losses to total cost, even by addition of many works on original scope, while in some cases omissions or deletions of considerable scope items results in time and cost savings. Risk impacts due to partly unknown scope. Unknown scope. very significant. We are considering risk impacts on unknown scope. A major factor that can jeopardize certain portion of project performance in its entirety when demanded scope is not clear to executor due to due to any valid reason, whatever valid reason or explanation given by client, it affects badly on performance on project and defined. It's not definitely it's not a desired acceptable condition. Unclear scope, definition or hidden provisions that may lead to disputes in many cases which would land both parties in all right. Now these risk factors have been detailed out. There may be many risk factors, but these are major one. Now risk response plans, risk management plans. That is solution to these which we discussed. Let me see what time is left because time is very important. Otherwise, this video stops later on. It's 1 hour 45, so we continue a little more. Otherwise, it's a problem. So there is a lapse of this video from Airtel. This one, Facebook. Risk response plan. Risk response plan is only document that would assist in mitigating adverse or undesired effects imposed on project to come out of risks impacts. Such plans should be based on thorough understanding of project activities and resources required for completing them project activities. All project documents should be clearly understood and understood to enlist possible risks and risk impacts from scope in close out stages. All possible risks should be analyzed and clearly documented along with determining possible easiest and is affecting solutions. On all such risks, imminent higher potential risks must be given. On all such risks, imminent higher potential risk must be given full attention that would possibly bring projects to standstill many times during project life cycle. Of all such risks, imminent higher potential risks must be given full attention that would possibly bring project to standstill many times during project life cycle. Such document should detail qualitative and quantitative analysis of all considerations collected from various sources both involved on project and also from other external independent experts. Sources from relevant fields, interviews, questions, formats, brainstorming, conferences, discussions, iterations on responses, etc. Interviews, questions, formats, brainstorming, conference discussions, iterations, question formats, iterations on responses, etc. would assist in understanding possible risks, would assist in understanding possible risks requiring responses from risk planning and management risks. Risks mitigation activities may certainly require making changes, updates, updates on various documents such as schedule, cost plans, resources, mobilization, etc., and more. Hmm. You say I missed something. Hmm. So let me do it again because it's very important for your understanding. Risk response plan is only document that would assist in mitigating adverse or undesired effect imposed on project to come out of risk impact. Such plans should be based on thorough understanding of proper activities and resources required for completing them. Project activities. All project documents should be clearly understood to enlist possible risk and risk impacts from scope to closeout stages. All possible risks should be analyzed and clearly documented along with defining possible easiest and effective solutions. Of all such risks, even at higher potential risk must be given full attention that would possibly bring project to standstill many times during project life cycle. Such documents should detail qualitative and qualitative and quantitative analysis of all considerations collected from various sources both involved on project and also from various external sources, both individuals, both involved on same project, and also from other sources, external sources, external independent experts, sources from relevant fields, interviews, questions, formats, brainstorming, conferences, discussions, iterations on responses, etc., would assist in understanding proposal risks, proposal possible risks, right? Possible risks requiring responses from risk planning and hearing, right? So once again, independent experts, sources from relevant fields, interviews, questions from brainstorming, conferences, discussions, iterations and responses would assist in understanding possible risks, requiring responses from risk planning and management. Mitigation activities must certainly require making changes, updates on various documents such as schedules, cost plan, resources, mobilization, etc., and incorporating with such documents all update. How to deal, I'll just underline this para so that I don't miss this line. How to deal with, I'm feeling first again, I'll deal with here. पानी क्यों पीना पड़ा है पापा? हिल रही है. How to deal with situations where critical activities were affected due to imposed risk of any kind must be detailed. Critical activities are often adversely affected for maintaining quality standard while non-critical activities do have sufficient of required time, the sufficiency of required time due to allowed allowed floats. Critical activities do not have any float on both ends of early start and at early finish date. Required knowledge, required intensive performance, attention during monitoring must be great, must be given all critical activities. Then all such risk managing studies should be recorded in detail along with mitigation of risks. Complete solution adopted to contain risk should be documented in sequence of corrective factors, applications, what steps could avoid such risks, or charter or scope agreement stages had a proper studies or analysis been conducted. What should be done to avoid such further impositions of risks in future on this project and also on other ongoing or newer projects. These identities, these details should be in documented as lessons learned as a part of quality procedures and would be constitutional as closing cut part of dossiers. Dossiers. Contents of all documents that are collected at the end of the project from all departments, all sections, the quality sections, safety sections, customer sections, inspection sections, planning sections, all those approved documents or others are packed up in form of dossiers. Human resources affecting cost, time, manpower, quality standards. Here, human resources we are talking of is affecting cost, time, manpower, quality standards. Pages how many I have finished? Out of 31, it's 13. So there are many pages to one and time is not very much. Already I think I half an hour more, maybe 30 minutes more. Not even 30 minutes, less than that. Anyway, human resources affecting cost, time, and manpower quality standards. Cost element scope. One is cost element scope, other is required plans, third is move in, move out, then motivation mobility. So these are chapters given in this. Cost element scope. Entire project to an extent of 30 possible cost of project is consumed by human resources depending on type of projects. These costs involve all human resources from all stakes to hold and plus where is one? Yeah, we say. Entire project to an extent 30 to 50% possible cost of project is consumed by human resources depending on type of projects. These costs involve all human resources from all stakeholders from which whatever so involved. Parties may be external or internal or consumer or client. Team members may be virtual or integrated as on project contract date. Yes. Team members may be virtual or integrated on project costs. Centrally, this factor required in-depth consideration to control expenditure of project costs. These costs involve all human resources from all stakeholders from whatever party so involved. Parties may be external, internal, or consumer or client. Team members may be virtual or integrated on project details. This factor results requires in-depth consideration to control expenditure on project cost. Then required plans. What required plans? Efficient plan is required for how to utilize optimally humans on activities. It is too easy to waste time, waste this resource on any project cost. The cost on this factor factors wastage cannot be recovered. Whereas you use human resources, time you cannot recover that. It's also it's too easy to waste time, but cannot be recovered. Costs on these factors wastage cannot be recovered by any recoverable means, expertise, and potential as an average shall affect strength requirements on any project. Dedicating commitment shall also reflect requirement required team strength. Extra use of work hours shall affect strength as well as extra use of working hours affects expenses on or on overhead overheads such as establishment, camping, transport, and other facilities. So you can say required plans must be strong. It's very difficult to do with. Once again, I read this story because this required plans. Efficient plan is required for how to utilize optimally human resources and activities. It's too easy to waste this resource on any project. Cost on this project factors the serious statement. Factors wastage cannot be recorded by any recoverable means. Expertise and potential as an average shall affect strength requirement on any project. Dedicative commitment shall also affect required team strength. Extra dedicative commitment shall also affect required team strength. Let's go further. Move in, move out. Move in and move out. What does it mean? Mobilization, mobilization stays, usable duration, demobilization time, schedule for human resources are concrete requirements to manage some project successfully. Come what may, it is foreseeable that personnel have to move out to the project only day after no requirement is left. Moved out personnel shall be either transferred moved out personnel shall either be transferred to other projects or to their parent functional managers. Those who are not on record, committed and efficient shall have to face permanent demobilization, while dedicated and hardworking personnel may be motivated by promotions. Update training shall be allowed for certain good offices. Motivation, mobility. Feeling This feeling can generate a degree of inefficient performance on person concerned that should be monitored by project team leader or project manager. Next mobilization project should be entrusted to concerned but efficient person in advance so that working pace is not affected adversely. Procurement now is procurement deliveries of material equipment. This is also very interesting one. कहाँ लग गया ये साला यार. Yeah. Procurement. Procurement, if neglected, can jeopardize whole project to an irrevocable status. Irrecoverable status from impending constraints. It has been seen on many projects that it impacts a loss to project budget cost due to non-availability of a sustainable time schedule as well as absence of right. Procurement, if neglected, can jeopardize whole project to an irrevocable status from impending constraints. It has been seen on many projects that it impacts a loss to project budget cost due to non-availability of a sustainable time schedule as well as absence of competent staff. Procurement of projects designs in design and build or EPC contracts constitute a very significant part of deliverables without which nothing would move on site or in project office either. Procurement of projects, design and designs built on EPC contracts constitutes a very significant part of deliverables without which nothing would move on site or in project office. Either some designs Either some designs are done by organizations, home office, while some are outsourced by organizations. In both cases, design requires detailed engineering organization. In both cases, design requiring design requires detailed engineering requirement studies and applicable applicable detailed engineering for detailed for deliverables, highest degree of coordination. Well, I think we cannot complete it today. Still, there are many more pages. I think procurement will be taken later on uh, because communications, there are so many pages in this. This is page number 14. The purpose is, see, it's very difficult to understand project management in one go. It's a vast field and it's not a limited field. It, it depends upon team to team, it depends upon party to party, it depends upon mandate given or included on contracts or on field or on feasibility studies or on budgetary grants passed by parliament or some government organization or some private body. It depends upon that. Projects sometimes in long time back took even years to decide to grant, but now it takes much lesser time. Even then, procedures are so long that decisions are avoided. Not only in this country, everywhere. Decisions take long time. Political decision, executive decision, and other decisions, and budgetary grants. Sometimes budgetary grants are not available, sanctions are available. Government sanction is available, parliament sanction is available, budget is available, but project grants are not available. That happens on many projects, and that is very bad state. If you start a project and leave in between, it's a problem for you. Don't I did not start it, but it's not in hand of somebody. If the project belongs to government, means government has its control, and government's control we very well know what type of controls are those. If government gives to private body, that's fine, but it doesn't happen. The institutions have changed for like decades. They started PPP, they are starting this, and that. So many schemes they have brought in. Of course, all are not successful. May be successful, may not be successful. But issue is project management is a wide range topic. It's not so simple as we are thinking. A project contains many projects in this. A project contains many projects in this. Because suppose a project is on sea or a project in deep desert. Both are having different nature. Both are having different calamities, expectations. Both having different soil structure. A project which is located on sea may be onshore project, maybe refinery project, maybe you can say original project, or it may be offshore project, or it can be project on beach for some residential township. Can be if you go on in UAE on some parallel roads, Sheikh Zayed Road, for example, you will find many cities there on beach itself, on seashore itself. Similarly, you go to some Libya area or some other areas where sea is involved, you will find many towns are located. This UAE itself is a chain of cities on seashore. All these 6 or 7 states in UAE you will find on seashore. Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Sharjah, Alain, and this, except few other cities inside. And if you go to Libya, you'll find different types of projects. Some are inside deep deserts, for example, Sahara Desert, the Sabha city, some Benghazi city, which is not exactly there, and the Mediterranean Sea is there in Tripoli as well as in Benghazi. It depends upon where it is. Means one project is a sea located project, other one is a deep desert project. Both are having different, both are in soil status are different, soil investigation different, nature of soil investigation is different, topography is different. Technology is required is different. A building project is located somewhere else is completely different. It's very complicated. See there, if you see drawings, I've seen drawings of all projects. I've seen drawings and data of building projects, RCC building projects, structural engineering, as well as drawings related to machines and drawings of foundations. If you compare refinery or if we compare some plant, ethylene plant or some other plant, byproduct plant from refineries out waste products, we'll find there are many hundreds of foundations, hundreds of vessels and equipments, and you can say plant area, process area, equipments are there which have major foundations, massive high foundations as well as light foundations. This is called, you can say, process area or plant area. And from that side there are controls from there, and these are offsites, they call it offsites, and there are central control building is there, and there are power stations or substations are there, utilities are there which support this area, process plant area, substations, central control buildings, other roads, internal network, So water supply is from sea, which has to go through plant area. Means water supply is very big amendment there. Then reservoirs are there, artificial reservoirs for containing water, for recirculation of these machines and plants, because you have to supply water for many uses for cooling these plants. So these are different kind of considerations. You have to take sometime water from sea, which is say 3 kilometers from location, and you bring that through a big pipe. Say you can say about 6 feet or 7 feet, 8 feet diameter pipe. That not yes, 8 feet diameter pipe. I use yeah. Twin pipes. You have to bring three types of pipe together. You have to bring there and put in your seawater basin. From here it has to go to each and every plant. So, complications are there in each type of projects. If you consider building only, then you will find many complicated designs, many complicated architectural designs, structural designs, services drawings, and you can say landscape design. In oil refinery, it's not very complicated, but buildings are also there. For example, in every refinery, every plant, you will find administrative building is there, warehouse building is there, stores of warehouse are same thing. That the amenities building are particular in Gulf, but amenities buildings are there in which the people can use for purpose of prayer, purpose of office, administration for offices, central control building for processes. Then there are depending on the culture, depending on the type of people working there, warehouse is a must. Then transportation is there, guard house is there, gate is there, where materials goes come out, and various other controls. Where controls to external areas, means your services from plants are going out, or from there electric cables are coming in. Many services are coming in they call it interconnections. So you cannot compare a package of documents, a feasible study of a plant site, or a feasible study of a building site, or feasible study of township site. All are different. Generally, projects which are located on sea do not cause major problem there, because these are raw projects, these are green projects. But projects in complicated city, in big city, cause always some problems. You are making a building, high-rise building or multi-story township you are making, you will find different types of problems. It's not that easy. We can simply write in project management, we can do this and this. There, money is involved, policies are involved, planning is involved, execution involved, and local bodies are involved, authorities are involved. But for a project which is located at sea, where company itself is government company, they themselves sometimes act as there's no need of any building permit, while in city there's need of building permit. So this happens. Everywhere it happens. So we have to understand that every project requires a different type of analysis on project management. Means feasible studies everywhere. They may say that you don't have this building is for infrastructure, for example. We are constructing some school building, we are constructing some hospital building, we are constructing some residential housing. They say that this is infrastructure support to that plant, for example. While the plant is preferred in that case, that refinery is preferred, or that plant producing ethylene or plant producing LPG, those are more significant than your school. Of course, both are important, because without a school, without residence, these people cannot stay there. If they stay there, they have to work there, and means they need sleep, they need family, they need everyone there. So there is a difference in approach. You cannot compare a township building to a refinery building or refinery project. Every every consideration is different. Requirement is different. So project management itself is completely different. We have say budget is there, because we did feasible study, we conducted a feasible study, we have got it approved, we are convinced, government is convinced, they grant budget. After that, we just start. Surveys are very important, takes time. Geographical survey will be there, maybe hydraulic survey is there in sea, or maybe soil investigation is there. All kinds of surveys, and these surveys take time. It's not simply one day survey. You have to take whole site. Say some plant site is 2 kilometer by 2 kilometer, or 1 kilometer by 2 kilometer, or some township maybe 3 kilometer by 2 kilometer, or 5 kilometer by 4 kilometer. It depends about what size of the township is. So surveys are different. You have to take geographical survey. You have to take topographical survey. You have to get a soil explorations everywhere. by drilling bores or by taking load bearing capacity, and we have to be sure about existing services. There may be existing services everywhere, electrical services going, water services going, drainage services going, or some other life services going, or some other secret services going. All those cannot be impacted upon, cannot be broken. But generally, it doesn't happen in long servers where living plants are there, live plants are there, live cities are there. There can be any existing services, and we call them as built services or live services. Those must be taken care of. So it depends upon what is that. If all these complications you find in projects, you have to take into consideration while doing project management studies. We are talking political part, we are talking administrative part, we are talking applicable part. We have not talked about technical part yet. Without this, you cannot enter there. Okay, we have cross feasibility studies, we have cross budget studies, we have cross survey studies, and we have all kinds of other study. Then we come to design part. Until we get report from soil investigation, we get report geographical investigation, we cannot continue design foundations. Design of foundations. We will take of superstructure, of course, this is not related to soil, but we need information about quake, we need information of all these winds. Those information may not be that difficult to extract, but can be. This can be. So this means we have to not confine ourselves to limited mode. This is my project management. Project management is very wide. It depends from a hotel project is one. It depends from theatre project is another one. For cinema is another one. For residential area it's one. For complex area it is another one. For refinery is one. So it depends upon what type of project you are looking for. There will be some free contracts, some free products. For example, you just this is an area to take this and start your building a housing or something like that. You see, there's no services, nothing is completely low. Start that. For example, you take this Doha airport. There was landfill, too much landfill. For years, landfill went on. Similarly, in Cornish beach or some other areas, they just reclaimed everything. So there are so many ways. What I'm saying is a project management analysis means you have to analyze all these sub-project major activities. These I call major activities because without this we cannot move. What I was just talking about procurement, that comes later on. Again, our parameters same: scope impacted upon, time, cost, quality impacted upon, and then other issues which are told out of these 8 knowledge areas are impacted upon. So you cannot generalize just in a statement that we can do like this and we can do like that. First, you have to break to that stage. You have to go to a stage where you can say, I can do like this. That stage is very important to be reached with. And only a person who can think, who has experience in life, who is born to solve problems, because engineer is born to solve problems. This is brief and real definition of an engineer in every field is you have a problem, solve it. Just like scientist finds formula, you have to find your problem and solve it so that this can be used by others. That is engineer. Engineer has to solve problem, engineer has to solve or dissolve whatever existing structure. Dissolve means demolition of structure. You know what happens? In Abu Dhabi, there used to be one time I was there long back. They had a policy that there were commercial buildings. Commercial buildings means we know commercial buildings. There was a program of the city that it was called social security program for their public, for their citizens. Department, the SSCB is called Department of Social Security and Commercial Buildings. DSSCB it was called Department of Social Security and Commercial Buildings. What they used to do, they used to allot plots to their citizens. This is your plot, you can construct a building. But they never allowed that party to construct building themselves. It is like a communist, you can say, communist management. What they used to say, this is money allotted to you. This plot is allotted to you. Now, we shall manage it on your behalf. You shall get profit out of that. What they mean to say, we cannot give you money and land alone. You go and sleep on this and sell it. We want you to use it, not to sell it. That was welfare state kind of policy. What happened? They give plot to each individual, their citizens, and they sanction budget as well. This much 6 million, 10 million, 12 million, depending on size of plot. We give you loan as. We will get it constructed digitally, and we will give someone in charge for this for detailing us about what's happening, for detailing news. That is one. Commercial buildings, all shops on ground floor, and then on upper floors, all residences. This gentleman who's owner of this has no control on execution, has only control on approvals. Without his approval, nothing can move. Controls are 100%. That person shall be owner of this building after construction, and this person who was designing this, who was working on the supervisor, who is an engineer or a consultant, has gone because there's no work left. So that is called another type of management. You have to work for civil labors. You have to work for all illiterate people. That is called project management as well. That is, you can say, all rent that comes from those offices and those shops go to that gentleman who's owner. This was their management. Here we have no management. Our management is a free country. We are independent country. We are, of course, they are to admit that we are democratic and we have open society. So our management is completely different. We have many methods for ourselves. We do and we make it and we just survive on that, and we have experienced that in past, and some of them have been successful and some of them have not been successful because of change in criteria, change in cluology. Cluology, our cluology is entirely different. We think we are very knowledgeable, but we also think that we are not knowledgeable. I am serious always saying, commenting that we belong to a non-serious society, and I too am non-serious, I'm sure. Maybe some of you say I'm lying, but it's not lying, it's fact. Go to outside of house and see what is there. No responsibility, no sense, no civil life, nothing. Everybody wants to do his way. So we are not serious, we are either super serious, we break things, yeah, that's super serious. Project management means every management. Job of survey engineer, and we feel the job of political engineer, political leader you may say, and then local leaders, and then civil engineer, electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, IT engineer, security engineer. All those people are responsible for this building, whatever it comes to. That is very significant part of this discussion. If I don't allow time for survey of topography, geography, geology, and tectonics and boreholes, I cannot get information of that area from grid wise to grid wise. I cannot depend upon an information provided by a local person. Oh, this soil is like this and this soil like this. Soil investigation is a must even for small building, or can say very limited area building, even with 2 or 3 floors. You cannot go ahead without soil investigation. But in our country, I think soil investigation just a drain, nothing else. We have to understand that as well. When you award project to some company, for example, to soil laboratory, the problem is everything is specialized. I have decided to give this survey work, geographical survey work, sea survey work, exploration survey work to some company, that is laboratory, because that activity is specialized and no one can do that. Survey laboratory must be approved, it must be licensed, otherwise you will face from it. They charge you money. They must have machines, good machines, machines which are in standard dimension, in the dimension you can say, updated machines, calibrated machines. That must be there of all ranks. Suppose I want to test the cement bag, I want to test brick or block work, I want to test steel. All those reliability factors must be there, and we can use that for whole duration of our project, and that is called a project and project. My construction may start 1 year after survey, because survey report is gone to government as well as to design engineer. And that design engineer shall work on that for further period of 6 months, say, for purpose of designs, maybe project is big, and even in 6 months that may not go. He may require more time. In that case, he starts in pieces all design works and issues to tender or bidding department. Bidding departments then take much and more time to collect all documents at one place and issue them. So a chain of many times start. Feasibility study was done, then a budgetary was done, then further surveys were done, and then clues were taken from people, and then we reached the stage where execution is required. This documentation, after having collection of all these reports, must be started with, and documentation should be started in the way that these standard documents are constituted or collected. These tender documents are not simple 1 or 2 page. These are thousands and thousands of pages are involved, because tender form is a document, tender bid is a document, tender book is a document. This you can say form is a document where cost is mentioned. Then contract conditions are document, all types contract conditions. Then you can say drawings are documents and specification written instructions are documents, and whatever else is required for is required subcontractor or to required contractor must be known to contractor. These files must be available. I have seen people not reading these files these days. Whatever degree one has got, he never tries to read that due to some reason or other. So each project shall generate another project. If survey takes 6 months, or if you can say you have to place order for long lead item, you have to produce it. Executions of hundreds of items. It's not simple execution. There are hundreds of items which are required now for purpose of temporary work, for purpose of preparatory works, for purpose of permanent work. We should know what these are while understanding project management. If we don't understand this, we are a failure, because temporary work is first, then preparatory works is second, and then this survey item, sorry, shuttering items, across system items, etc., cannot be erased just immediately after opening this. It will take some time, and we can take this factory or we keep as it is, so it gets cold, we do not worry about it. That is what is. So projects within projects, many projects and non-projects. That is the reason we make bar charts, or we make CPRM, or we make other charts, other informations to understand what are relations between each activity to other activity or event to event, how we understand that, how we allow time to that, how we calculate time, how we know about the coefficients, working coefficients available in phase society. We just are nothing but a follower of our own acts. We may have time units. This is start of project and this is start of end of project. In that we have to accommodate ourselves comfortably. Nothing should be missed out. That brain is required by an engineer, by a professional. It's not simply saying I'll put this date here. You have to put last date, but you have to see present date is reached or not, current status is reached or not. It's not simple. You have to know all projects, all disciplines, quantities, all disciplines cost, and every cost to do this. So procurement, we will go, we'll talk of that. But so far, I just reached about background. If suppose we have to place order for long lead items, that is also a task. Means we need first of all discover ourselves where specifications are, what specifications applies, what designs are, how designs apply. We have to work out quantification of this approximate. This is the length of pipe and this length of band of this and this are required on this project. Then we think of what excavation is required. After having known the what excavation quantity is required, what this procurements are required, we can to some extent move with our further work, which is very important to move with. Already, let us say, it's moving on and on. So don't get mixed up. First of all, we have studied about this project management. We have studied many factors. For example, we started with the scope. We want to go to three major triangular portions, which are cost, time, and quality, which is very important, significant viewpoint from your understanding as a project manager and engineer. You should know these are very important single basic factors. This time, cost, and quality. If you have no right to waste time of project, you have no right to augment cost or enhance cost of project, you have right to reduce cost if possible, you have no right to damage quality requirement, you have no right to degrade project, you have no right to deliver substandard items. This triangle is very significant, basic significant, very significant from quality of project. Quality of project is all three: time, quality, and cost. I am calling quality and quality of project is different thing, because when I am calling quality means quality of that particular project. But I am talking of quality of system also. See, there is a confusion between quality. Quality control, which is a quality of materials control, while quality itself is total quality management, that we call it a quality requirement, we call it in compliance to or in line to ISO 9001, 2015 or previously 2008 or whatsoever sigma and others which are applicable to all management sections. And generally when there were no sigma and no ISO 1001, we used to control our systems quality. It's same thing. I didn't find any difference in past 20, 30, 40 years, and now there's no major difference. Only thing is name is changed, that's it. We used to control quality of materials, quality by testing, by all that. That's now part of quality control. Also quality of systems, and we had systems. We used to flow systems. We never deviated from system, but those were not written or not authorized. But now only difference is our method that we are using the quality management. We have to write every procedure on our documents in the organization, where we are in government service or we are somewhere else. We have to prepare each and every document and follow that. We have to prepare document, we have to propose it, we have to get approval through our board, then we have to approve it through our client, and then we have to follow it up, and our follow-up must be correct. External party checks it, internal party checks it, our follow-up must comply. If it doesn't comply, it is observation, and observation is not important, it's not welcome. It's not welcome. Question is not important. There should be no observation. Time is given for 2 years for observation. Then after that, it is called audit, quality audit. And people are confused about quality audit. They think just check some item. When we go to site, we think, oh, here's a crack. This is not in line. This is not this. Here's some sagging. Here's some deflection. Here's this conduit is out. This pipe is out. This is not straight. That is not part of quality of systems. That is part of quality control. We have to understand that. Material control is one thing, management control is another thing. You are talking of management control where system is important. You are designing your system, you designed that, you accepted that, you approved that, you committed for its implementation, and you have to do that. That is called internal checking, internal examination by your own quality people, as well as by external examination. That is called third party control, third party quality management. Third party, you can say, controls from outside. That third party is not your party. You are hired either from your client side or from your own side. You have to pay for that. Whereas internal quality is your own. That is your own support. You have to manage that as well. But third party is more important, because third party is neither dependent on you nor on other party. They are independent people, and that is what third party is more important. People have to understand that. If we don't follow systems, if we don't follow management criteria, we cannot move ahead. Project manager is not that easy. Project management is very complicated, because you have to control quality of materials, you have to control quality of systems, and in lieu of all these, you have to control quality of site, quality of human resources, quality of machines, quality of equipments, quality of materials, quality of international and national dealings, quality of negotiations, and everything comes in that. How to deal with your people, that is also a part of quality control. If your people are hungry, your people are sick, you cannot force them to work. If there is say safety, you have to apply safety management to them, and that's also a part of quality management. That is called health, safety, and environment. There's a subject, or there's a trait. It's called HSE, health, safety, and environment. It must be complied with. Suppose people are doing concrete for 10 hours, you cannot allow them like that. You have to give rest pause after 2 hours, or it's hot after 1 hour, and give some drinks. take these drinks, cold drinks, or something. That's also a part of quality. If people get sunstroke and fall on site, you are responsible. Where is quality management then? Simply not a question of quality of company, it is a quality of people. How to tackle the people, whether they are living in open, sleeping in open, or they are living in some apartment or somewhere else. It depends. Are they drinking water or not? Are they getting cold water or not? This all system quality. You have to maintain quality system, you have to maintain safety system, you have to maintain technical control system, you have to maintain administrative system, you have to maintain camping system, life ignition only there are remote areas, you have to maintain mess system. Everything must be in writing to an extent. This quality management is called, that is reason it's called total quality management. It is not simply quality management. There are so many quality managements in quality management, and there are so many projects in a project. There are hundreds of activities, thousands of students in projects. There are 10 buildings in a project. There are 50 buildings in a project. There is already one building in a project. It depends. This is a big refinery. There are hundreds of foundations for equipment and vessels and transformers and machines and big vessels and small vessels. And there are many offices in that. Many substations are there. Many other areas are there. Road infrastructure internal is there. Aggregates distribution is there. Boundaries are there. SCADA electronic system is there. Supervisor control and data acquisition system is there. And CCTV system is there. Other systems are there. Gates are there, entries are there, metal transportation is there. So everything is there depending on what type of projects you have to handle. And where there's a small building, for example, so you're just constructing a small building, is a small building and people say, oh, small building, what problem? Actually, there is a problem on small building. Big buildings are not a problem. Big projects are not a problem because on big projects, big people are available, big managers are available, big engineers are available, everybody is big there and many are available. Many supervisors, many engineers, many managers, many all department surveys, many discipline engineers, many safety people, many quality people, many administrative people, many planning people, everybody is there. So no worry at that. My worry is for that small project where there is no one, only one man. He is manager, he is engineer, he is technician, he is foreman, he has to work himself and value is not able. That is a problem. He has to purchase, he cannot purchase himself, he has to go through office channel, through my official channel, and that man takes many months for getting material on site. So that is a big problem. I have worked on small projects also, and you know what problems are there. When there's a big problem, big project, all come because they say, "Oh, project is big, so mega projects in the company. Everybody wants to join that one because every facility is available there." But for a poor guy in small project, even no computer is available there. No PC is available there. He has to fight for PC, he has to fight for desk, he has to fight for chair, he has to fight for toilet, for cabin, for office, for air condition. Because nobody wants to spend money on that small project. So this is small project. This is a courtesy project. And they may say, oh, this is obligation project. So we just go and we have no profit on that. That is not an issue. Project is project. It may be chappal, it may be shoe, or it may be big clothing. It's your wear. You cannot just justify by statement that this is a small project. A small project is always a big problem, believe me. A small project is always a big problem. Why big project is small problem? Because funds are available in the project and small projects funds are not available. You have to buy one item, say, you have to buy two WCs in a small project. For two WCs, nobody will quote anything to you. You need 10 doors for a small project. For 10 doors, nobody will quote to you because they want to quote for 400 doors. Concrete mix plant will not give you ready mix. Oh yeah, you are only 5 cubic meter you want. You want only 10 cubic meter slab. I don't have time. I have some other engagements. I'll give you some time in I'm free. You have to request for your beg like. It happens. Nobody enjoys your small projects. You have to struggle. If you are a big project, no problem. Everybody shall come to you. Everybody shall come to you. No need of going to vendors, they will come automatically to you. This happens in every local home. People come here, there's some construction site, they come, oh, you want this, you want to take my material. That is what I am saying. Don't mix up things. Everything must be analyzed. Every project must be analyzed. If there is a small project, be clear, you have to work hard there. Of course, you are not to move around here and there much. You are not to spread, a site is not to spread, you have to concentrate your business there, but you are alone there. Hardly you may be one foreman. That's it. For even machines, you have to beg or you have to hire from market. They will not give you machines. They will not give you excavator or jackhammer or a rock breaker or direct. You have to beg every time. Or you go to market and hire them if you are given power from your company. If you go to consultant, they say, yeah, you cannot handle this small project. Every time you are coming to me, structure sir, like drawing this and that. This is a small project. You cannot handle this. They will talk like that. It happens. Once I was doing a project in Abu Dhabi long back, and this what this consultant did. This very small villa, not very big villa, and this client, the owner was very interested. This was done immediately. This client, this consultant. I saw drawing. I was surprised. What is this? This is a strip foundation, very big. This all there is just like a raft one means a raft strip. I raised a question to my company. It says 10 tons per square meter bearing capacity, safe bearing capacity. What does it mean? Why are you putting this forward? We are piling even other. This is piling now. He said, no, piling is required for statutory laws of Abu Dhabi. Who told you? No, this is everywhere. They will laugh on this. You send this. Tell him this is 10 tons per square meter. You don't do piling. You deduct piling cost. Okay, my manager sent it there. And that guy changed it. This Bangladeshi engineer was there. This Arabic consultant. They changed. Okay, we'll remove piling and just make footings and. But he says there are 5,000 grams. Which was not a problem. At least we had to save 2-3 months piling and then piling tests and all this. Why do we need that if it's not required? It's not required. Why unnecessarily you are copying and pasting it? You copied from this person, paste it because you had no time to study this small project. You are busy in your big projects. You just copy and pasted that. It happens. And many projects we raise foundations. Raise in the sense excavation depth was more in designs. We checked on site. We examined bearing capacity. It was rocky area. We discussed this concern. So okay, raise by 50 centimeters, 60 centimeters. But you save money. We adjust somewhere else. It's not question of saving money. It's question of time. Time is also saved. It happened. We did that. So that is what I am saying. Projects are different everywhere. Sometimes projects are important, sometimes prestigious, and sometimes not prestigious. But it doesn't make a difference. Just to relocate one manhole, I was in Doha, and small project I had record center, electronic record center. It was for a refinery project in Amsai. On contract, there was a manhole, existing manhole, and we have to replace it from this location to that location. People say, oh, what's difficulty? There, we'll put it. You cannot do that. It's government item. It's a state item. It is owned by a government. You cannot interfere directly. You have to take their permission. And that engineer was there, government engineer. He said, don't take it easily. Don't take it so easily. It is very difficult. It is government involved. State department is involved. I know. I got his point. He said, I know what happens in our country. He said, yes, it is more here. It was it was in 2004, I think, 2003. It was that time. Believe me, for that particular one chamber shifting, I had to go at least 50 times to that department. Individually on my own, I went. I drove and went every 50 there. It took that much attempt for me to go there, sit there, wait there, write there, talk to them, this and that, and then get permit. After that, they go to execution department and then to other department. It took me 50 times visit to those people just to shift one chamber. Just see how much money I had to waste on my going there, car petrol, time. It cost you. It's cost more than cost of that chamber. But you had to do it. It was a part of job. You could not say no. It's a contract. You included that item in contract because it's a lump sum. This happens. We have to understand life. Once I was in Doha, long back in 1987, and we just started excavation of a firing range, shooting range, which was 330 meters long. We started excavation. We just brought consultants, showed me we excavated this, and we have to start this for conclusion. Okay, we started. We just did excavation for all building, and immediately what happened? One day, this English consultant, he was an architect, came to me. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! What's the problem? No, we have to investigate. What investigation? What crime he has done? What crime has been done? No, no, there is one item. You are taking exhibition here. We have there. You approve this. Yes, I approve. But listen, here is a pole. This is overhead electric pole. This transmission line is going on this open book of law, open book of our codes, of our codes. There is some provision, and that provision says you cannot fix a building within 50 meters of this electrical overhead transmission pole. So what I do, it's not my fault. It's given in your drawing. Yes, it is given in our drawing. That is right. That is the reason I'm coming to you. It is army area, army base, training base, and it's a state item. According to law, this is not permitted. So why did you issue drawing? I ask him. He says, yes, we issued drawing, we issued everything, and statutory body also issued this drawing. But it is your duty, being a contractor, being a lump sum contractor, prime contractor, you must go through all conditions of contract and all statutory bylaws, whatever provisions are applicable in statutes, in regulations of government, you have to read them. And there is a point in our contract that this is way leave form. Way leave form. He said that. Because he had studied that. I did not study by that time. What is that? This says within 50 meters you cannot construct this building. Stop this work. He suspended that work. And it's a big excavation. 300 meters length of building. 300 meters, just say 330 meters, not normal. 330 meters and say 100 meters this way or 50 meters this way. It is your job, being a contractor, lump sum contractor, prime contractor, to go through all these provisions of its conditions, go through all laws, whatever is this, and then if there is a problem, make a query, raise a question, what should be done? Well, I was too young, I didn't know all this. He stopped, I was concerned, why stop? Then I have labor, I have machine. No, you send this labor here, there, you can start this side, you can start that side, and leave this side. So it was the issue raised, and there was judiciary court established by military. Because military is a jurisdiction of military, not for civil court. Military asked me a simple first question: did you get this approval in writing? Well, I say we used to work just verbally. It's your fault. Don't do anything in future until you have approval. We did not get any benefit out of that. We had to stop work. We relocated labor here and there. We relocated machines, and this building was shifted. That is personal experience. So where project manager is there? Where is project management? It's not simple management. You have to look into each and every provision of law, each and every provision of contract, because responsibility goes to construction management. It doesn't go to consulting management. It doesn't go to government management. It doesn't go to design management. It goes only to a person who is responsible for delivery practically. This is a big question. I learned a lot from that. And that is the reason I became serious about knowledge, about contracts, about laws, about this, because we have to deal with them. It's not simply contract management. There are arbitration issues, there are payment issues, there are many other issues where engineers are trapped. Managers are trapped. They don't care at time of execution. Nobody bothers about this. Write or respond, or there's a letter from government, there's a letter from here, there's a government. We have to write letters like this. There's nothing as such. People are not concerned, particularly those who come from just after passing engineering, they don't care about this, they don't write something. They don't believe in writing at all. They don't believe in reading at all. I have seen people who don't read contracts, who don't read anything. They just go, okay, we do it, and that's it. I want concrete today. I want concrete today. Means just do it and do. This is not engineering. Engineering doesn't mean concrete and steel. Engineering doesn't mean just do work and finish. No, that's not simple. That is layman job. Just like it is design is significant, just like it is planning is significant, just like management is significant, just like all circuits are, just like you can say electric supply is important, just like water supply is important. Same thing. These types of topics are very, very significant from project management viewpoint, or you shall be a failure. You have to decide whether you want to be a failure or you want to be a successful. If you want to be failure, ignore everything. Better don't join engineering. Go to office, sit down there and sleep there in air conditioned room and work whatever you want to do. Be a software engineer or hardware engineer, be a design engineer, whatever it is. You have no responsibility. What responsibility you have? You are working in designs, people are working on design, they are checking and delivering, that's it. If something happens inside, you are responsible. You have to deliver. What value of IT engineers? It doesn't work. No liability, no accountability. But when something happens practically wrong on site, first of all, you are exposed in public. Your face comes in news. You are defamed. Your reputation is damaged. You are not allowed to join in the job, and you may face jail. This happens. If some live service is broken, you are in jail in Gulf countries. Electric, suppose during excavation, you broke some line, water line, or sewage line, or electrical supply in live wire, you shall be immediately arrested and heavy penalty imposed on you. It's not easy. It's not simple question of company money. First of all, you will lose a position. You will have to face jail and no bail. Because you have stopped the refinery by breaking your live service. Function of a refinery stops. Electric supply stops, water supply stops, everything stops. You have broken, you have shut down the refinery, is losses, millions and millions of dollars. This is very important. We are not simply talking in just gossiping. It's not gossiping. It's accountability, liability. You have to pay. From where you pay. Same thing I'm saying. If management is not important, you have to take care of time, quality, and cost. If you delay project, bad name, liquidated damages, no consideration again for that project, you lose. If quality is bad, again you are in problem. First of all, you spend money on original work, then you break that work to rectify it and work again, double loss. First money has gone, then you have to spend money on preparation again, then work again. Time is lost, means where one loss there, another loss there, another, and then the image has gone. So don't run blindly. Think, do, read, and speed up then. If you are not clear in management and in engineering, do not work that activity until and unless you are clear of that. If there is some information missing, some coordination is there which is missing, do not do that by imagination, by assumption. Get clarification. Don't worry about anything. Get clarification. Give proposal or let them decide. Or don't do otherwise. If you do, you shall be in problem. Because you are not a small person. You are sitting on a responsible position which costs money, which costs time, which costs reputation, and which costs company's bad name. You are a person who grants to this company a bad name, or you are a person, company gives a good name to you. You have to decide. Once you are in bad image, go. No salary, no bonus. Once you are in good image, you are an asset to that company. They may give you bonus, they may give you value, they may upgrade you, they may give you car, they may give you other benefits. It is all that. Therefore, don't jump with blind eyes. Don't consider yourself very pragmatic, even if you have 20 years of experience or 30 years of experience. And don't be so confident when you are just the new. Because fresh people are very overconfident. They call themselves structural engineer I am, consultant I am, and has not even 6 months of experience. 2 years of I am a structural engineer, I have passed masters in structural engineering, I am consultant. Claim like that. No, it doesn't work. Until you have experience in consultancy, until you have experience in field work, until you have experience in theoretical knowledge, in designs, you cannot call yourself competent structural engineer. Similarly, it applies to field engineer. It applies to every discipline engineer. It applies to all managers. Therefore, I in the beginning itself said PMT has nothing to do in engineering projects, on engineering projects. PMT is a different word. It can be used for shop, it can be used for small business, it can be used for car company, it can be used for sale company, it can be used for some other company. But for projects, name itself is wrong. It cannot be PMP. Project management cannot be applied on construction projects, on other projects, or industrial projects. Completely technical activities there are, complete design activities there are. They may do some assistance, of course. They may say, we can assist in human resources for you, we can assist in finances for you. That is different. I met one in one interview, some MBA came that time long back. I was also there for position project manager. I asked him, what's your qualifications? I'm MBA. Are you engineer or not? No, no, I'm not engineer, just a square. Oh, what for you come here? No, no, I came here because maybe I'm MBA, I'm required here. What you shall do on project? No, I can suggest them, I can advise them for arrangement of finances. He thought he can arrange for finance. What finance arrange? Is project already financed? Without financing, no project can be started. I don't know what is in minds of people. People are crazy. They just is title. Just like in our country, IS title is given, IIM title is given. You have no relevance to development of country and you are having titles. It happens. Be a layman, work like a layman first. Can you stand in sun in 40, 50 degrees Celsius for whole day? Can you wear bad clothes? You wear ties and all coats in hot? Can you mix up with labor? Can you mix up with staff? Can you walk 10 kilometers, 5 kilometers every day? If you cannot do that, what is your meaning of project management? What's the meaning of your being IIM? No relation at all. You have to struggle. You have to burn your body. You have to burn your mind. You have to burn your ear. Sometimes you may not have food for 5, 6 hours. You may not have cold water there. You may not have good food there. You may not have good WC there for a few months. What shall you do? Shall you survive like that? This is a big question mark. But people don't understand because they don't want to understand. They are all big. They are all big and all big. I say, I am very small person. I am a civil engineer and I consider myself a worker. That's it. Nothing else. You may say I am little educated class labor. Of course we are all labor. We are no officer, no manager. Everybody has job responsibility. As an engineer, sometimes I have to do myself everything. When nobody is there, I am supposed site is closed. I am in an office. I am not going home. I have to do some work. I am thinking on. There's not even except God one. There's no one. I have to take my tea myself. I have to cook it. I have to drink water myself. I have to clear my desk. I have to drive everything for me that time for 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes, or sometimes I come to job earlier, say 2 hours earlier, just to make up my paperwork and all that. Oh, I will do myself. Why do worry about that? Engineer should be shameless. Engineer should be practical. Engineer should be dynamic. Engineer should be hesitation free. Only then you can be engineer. If you are looking at your clothes first, you cannot be engineer. Don't be, if you want tip top dressing and tip top style and your car should be washed every day, you cannot walk. You don't like dust. You don't like sweating. Then why are you going to be engineer? Sit down, go in office somewhere and finish. Your life is over. Those who struggle get, not those who have comforts get. Either enjoy life comforts or enjoy life struggles. No scientist was in AC room. No senior engineer was in past AC rooms. There were no ACs in those days. There were no cars in those days. There were no buses in those days. No airplanes in those days. But they also worked. Taj Mahal was constructed by some professional engineer or some IIM. Who constructed? Who constructed Qutub Minar? Who constructed the Eiffel Tower? There were no such people. So we have to understand that way. It is very significant. It is very important. Don't overestimate yourself. And you have learned nothing while you pass your degree or post graduation or degree or even doctorate. You learn nothing. You learn only that thing which was written by someone else and guided by someone else. And he just told you it's like that. Nothing. You did not do any original work of your own. If you do original work of own, you're fine. When you do one project yourself, it's a called original work. Of course, it's not your design, maybe. It's nothing to do with it, no specification from yourself, but you did something practically. That is your earning. You are a PhD, you may be a professor in a college, that's fine, that's something else. But to an extent, profession of engineering doesn't, you are not linked to that yet. You may have 10 professional degrees of doctorate, no problem. But you are guided by someone else. Remember, once you guide yourself, you move yourself, you will be real professional. Otherwise, no. So I just already 3 hours, so I shall pull it down. Well, thank you very much, dear gentlemen. I think I should close it down. And just again for this. And thank you very much. Namaskar.